There we go. It is Flyers game day. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez, Flyers and Columbus Blue Jackets once again tonight. They'll wrap up the season series tonight. Second game of a home and home. Flyers lost that first game on Tuesday, 4-2. But as Mike Yo said in the game, Brian, after the game rather, he said, we did a lot of really good things tonight, and their goaltender stole one. And I don't know that I've ever agreed with a coach quite as much.
Yeah, it was it was one of those nights where again the goaltending decided the game, and unfortunately for the Flyers on this occasion, it decided it in the other team's favor. Carter was not at the top of his game. He definitely had some good saves, but there were a couple of them that got by him that I'm sure he would want back. And then at the other end, Elvis Merzlikins was absolutely lights out. So, it was like I've been saying at that point, there was a lot of good things about that game that that the Flyers can build on here. And in a normal season, moral victories are nothing. But in the current situation for the Flyers, wins and losses don't matter a whole heck of a lot. So if you've got a lot of good things happening with the young players that they can build on for the short and the long term, that's a good thing, and that's what happened in that.
I ran. I can't believe I started doing this already today, but I ran the NHL draft simulator today, and it only took me 2 times for the Flyers to come in number 1.
What did it take?
Yeah, 2 times, and
Well,
it did it 2 times in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, the first time I did it, I took a screenshot of the first time. And the first time I did it, the Flyers were the second time, the Flyers were number 1. Detroit came in number 2. Montreal came in 3. Arizona, Seattle 5, New Jersey 6, Ottawa 7. And then the second time I ran it, or the third time, second time that the Flyers came up, third time I ran it, the Flyers came in number 1 and Ottawa came in number 2. So I was okay.
I just hit 6 times and I got the Flyers at number 2. But what I like about what I'm seeing here is, and again, you don't want to lose games, but right now the Flyers' default spot is 5.
They can go down to 7 though.
Yeah, they could fall as far as 7, but if nothing else happens, I mean, I'd be very happy with 5. It's a lot different from going to 12 to 2 as it was going 5 to 2.
Yeah.
So
the odds are different now. Like we went through that exercise. The best odds you could have a couple years ago was 16%.
Yep.
Now it's 25.7%. I want to say. 25.7% is the percentage that Montreal has right now, and they did that because remember the year. I can't remember which season it was. It might have been 2018 when Detroit, or no, maybe it's just been 2020. Detroit was so much worse than everybody else.
Right.
I mean,
1920, yeah.
Yeah, because it was the year heading into the shortened season.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Brian, they had, I want to say 50 or like, they had 39 points. I just looked it up. 39 points that season. They had 17 wins, 49 losses, and 5 ties in 71 games. They got in 71 that year. I mean, in
an 82-game season, they were on pace for less than 50 points.
Oh, way less. I mean, they would have, based on what they did that year, I mean, they would have had maybe 3 more points.
Yeah.
42.
Wow.
Yeah, and put it this way. It was so bad. I mean, they played 71 games. The second worst team in the league that year, Ottawa, also played 71 games, had 43 more points than them.
Jeez.
They had 62. That's insane. How about the goal differential, by the way? The lowest goal differential in the league.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah, Ottawa had the second worst at minus 52. Detroit, minus 122. Wow. 70 goals. I mean, and that's 71 games. That's a goal a game more.
That's a rough season.
Oh man.
That is a rough season. I was looking at this the other day too. Like I think we kind of lost track of this and watching everything the Flyers been doing this year. How much of a difference there is between the top 8 and the bottom 8 in the East. And that exacerbates things because when for whatever reason there's such a big discrepancy, then of course your bottom 8 teams are going to have worse records than perhaps they probably should, just because the top 8 are so good. So I don't know what the explanation is for that. That was something to be interesting to take a dive into.
I think that's an anomaly this year, Brian.
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah, I do, because we usually don't see that. That's rare, right? Like even last year, like I'll go look into the standings from last year, kind of by division, well, in Atlantic, it was pretty pronounced, the top 4, because then you had, well, they're different divisions last year. I can't go by that.
But normally it's like it is now in the West. There's usually at least 10 teams going for 8 spots.
Yeah.
If not 11 or 12.
Yeah, if I go back to the 18-19 before the shortened season, so you had, like, Montreal was the 4th. They were the 4th team in the Atlantic. They didn't make the playoffs, but they had 96 points and didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
In the Metro, the first team that didn't make the playoffs was the Flyers. They had 82 points, 37, 37, and 8. All right, let's join our radio audience here. All tangled up. Oh, that's right. It is time for Philadelphia Flyers hockey, Flyers game day. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez, as we get set for part 2. It is the Flyers and Columbus Blue Jackets, second game of a home Tuesday, 4-2 loss for the Flyers at Wells Fargo Center tonight. They are at it's still Nationwide Arena, right, Brian?
It is, yes.
All right. You never know, these arenas change. Yeah. So it's Nationwide Arena tonight. It's the Flyers in Columbus once again. They'll wrap up a season series. And I guess what the Flyers are hoping, Brian, is that they just don't get a goaltending performance the way they did the other night. But the Flyers are kind of firing on all cylinders from a scoring chance and opportunity standpoint and cash in a lot more.
Yeah, they have to hope that Elvis Merzlikins comes down to earth a little bit, because it'd be hard to cash in there, at least get as many scoring opportunities as they did the other night in Philadelphia. I mean, he had an absolutely lights out performance in that contest, and so Flyers again have to, whenever you do something like that, it's like, well, what do you want to change? Well, sometimes you just have to keep on trying to make the guy's life miserable, and that's about the only thing you can do to try to turn somebody around like that, is just keep throwing traffic in front of him and see if you can't get him off his game a little bit. So, if he's back tonight in that kind of form, that'll be what the Flyers will need to do to get a little more success.
Yeah, we saw when the Flyers played Columbus earlier this season, the game prior to Tuesday, we also saw Merzlikins in that game. We have not seen Jonas Korpisalo with Columbus this entire season. I'm going back to see what he did in that game, because maybe he just likes playing against the Flyers, right? First of all, he should be playing in Nashville because of its proximity to Memphis. Could you imagine if he played in Nashville, all the Elvis impersonators that would be there, or even in Vegas for that matter?
You talk about a marketing face of your franchise, Mike.
Yeah. Elvis has left the building.
Yep. Every single night, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to see when they played. Okay, so they played Columbus. There was a 2-1 loss for the Flyers all the way back on January 20th in that game. Carter Hart played for the Flyers. Now, Flyers do have some he made 33 saves on that night too. 34 shots, 33 saves. So on the year, 33, he had 33 saves on 34 in that game. And then the other night he had 47 saves. 47 saves on 49 shots.
Mm-hmm.
So that quick math, 80 saves on roughly 83 shots.
That's not bad.
That's good work if you can do it, right?
That's the kind of thing that when you hit a goalie that's doing stuff like that, your night gets a little bit more difficult and a little bit harder to deal with. So.
Yeah. Is he getting the start tonight? I'm trying to look that up right now.
I was running around tonight. It's youth hockey.
It is Elvis, yeah.
And we are trying to keep up. I know Korpisalo's got a hip injury, and I was actually
it is Merzlikins.
Korpisalo was out for the season. He's going to have surgery on his hip, and That's always fun for a goalie. The overall situation there, I'm not too sure of. I know that it cropped up in February, but I don't know if he was dealing with another injury when the Flyers played him back in January or not. Obviously, whatever it was is probably starting to bother him then, I would imagine.
Here's the deal. This is pretty startling. On the year, Merzlikins has a 904 save percentage. The guy down at the other end of the ice tonight, Martin Jones, has a 902. Merzlikins has a 3.37 goals against average. Martin Jones has a 3.38. The record, Jones' record, 9-14-3. Merzlikins, 23-18-6. How about that?
That is somewhat
That's
surprising.
stunning.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're talking about a guy that's probably getting more of the quality starts than Martin Jones does, but yeah, that's a pretty big discrepancy there.
If you play a goalie on that kind of pace that Merzlikins has, and with that kind of winning percentage, I mean, that's a playoff team.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy how you string that together all the time, right? It's just one night or another, can be the difference. It looks like Korpisalo was battling injury on and off throughout the season. He was out in December for a while. When the Flyers did come through back in January, or when Columbus came through in January, he played the game before and the game after. It was a back-to-back for Columbus back then. So I think the Flyers just drew Merzlikins in that game because Columbus went to Pittsburgh the next night. He looks like he went on the shelf right after Valentine's Day for good. He didn't play 4 games before that either, and he only played one period in his last game on January 31st. I don't know if that was when maybe the initial injury happened or not. He was able to come back for 4 games before they finally shut him down for the year, though.
Okay. Well, it'll be Merzlikins versus Jones tonight, and we'll be looking at the kids again tonight. We'll be looking at Noah Cates tonight. Not that he's a kid. I mean, that's maybe that's the wrong term to use by me, but about a 23-year-old. But it'll be some of the young guys tonight: Noah Cates, Ronnie Attard, and some of the other young Flyer players out there once again trying to take on the Blue Jackets tonight and trying to come away with a win in the second game of this home and home. As the Flyers will do it up in Columbus tonight at Nationwide Arena. Tim Saunders and Steve Coates with the countdown to face-off coming up next, and all the first period action. You've been listening to Flyers Game Day on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.